I got onto my laptop and opened my external hard drive containing over 1,000 gigabytes of music data. I was using a password for the drive at the time, and I got on one day and realized that the data had been erased. Speaking from a personal viewpoint of dealing with problems outside of my control, before having anxiety attacks, before reaching out, my brain and my heart became separate, and I was one with a dreary trepidation that I could not get my work back. Yielding to the arduous terms of altering myself to be the center of vitality to solve the problem was the way through being beholden to the vexation. From the book Behave, written by Robert Sapolsky, The Human Brain at its Worst and at its Best. Chapter 2 says willpower is more than just a metaphor. It's a self-control that is a finite resource. And by putting great cognitive load on the frontal cortex, which is in charge of self-control, evaluating risk, of assessing reward, it puts the other brain faculties at less performance. What this means is that the chances of the brain working in unison and balance and to thrive at its best in ways of being sociable, charitable, and consistent with life, it begins to decline. When the PFC, the prefrontal cortex, when it fails to find a solution, that can be associated with frustration, can be associated with anxiety. Now, there had been countless times when I had been in a position to reveal a disclosure that I had received nearly in denial. Flashing back to discovering that all my music data had been corrupt, I experienced a sense of rumination. This means repetitive thoughts of distress. This was the condition because the issue was impossible to solve without taking on burden. In the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, chapter 2, if you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, it's your estimate of it, and that is what you have the power to revoke at any moment. Leonardo Da Vinci was born in the 15th century. You will never have a greater or lesser dominion than that over yourself. External control is temporary. The internal control is lasting. While there's things that you can't control and they may affect you in a big or a small way, you always have access to a place within. Even when there's neural skirmishes in your mind, there are zones of solace in your mind. In book 4, from the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, willpower, where whenever without shout choose to retire into thyself, nowhere either with more quiet or more freedom from trouble, doesn't man retreat than into his own soul. The words retire, the words retreat, don't have to mean the end of working towards arrival. How one must retreat into oneself, it is referring to the precise faculties within the brain regions operating in unison to regain control over the task at hand. This is a part of the reframing process, accepting the unknown and anchoring your next move. Maya Angelou, who was born in the 20th century. You may not control all events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Try to remember this thought pattern to better prepare yourself and to act in case there are things that you need to solve. It's called a triad response, involving one or two subparts of the brain. The three most important parts would be the vlPFC, suppresses the emotional spike, avoiding impulsive decisions. The vmPFC, accepting the loss, integrating the lesson, and reframing the perspective. The dlPFC, resuming strategic planning with a clearer emotional landscape. The most emotionally intelligent will react first with the vmPFC before the vlPFC, accepting first, then seeking answers to the problem. No longer be dissatisfied by your present situation or shrink from the future. That which is from fortune is not separate from nature, all things are interweaving in the evolution of things by providence. From thence all things flow, and there is a necessity in that which is beside the whole universe